Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today we are talking about Kodama of the South Tree. And the more I'm reading these names of Kodama of the blank tree, the more I'm like, these must be separate Kodamas that represent the different compass directions or of trees essentially. So I'm going along the line of it's separate Kodamas representing different compass directions in the Forest of Spirits. Let me know in the comments below if I'm correct or completely off base. But this is Kodama of the South Tree, which is a legendary spirit. It's a 4/4. It costs 2 generic mana and 2 green mana. And it has a triggered ability. Whenever you play a spirit or cast, I'll read the errated text. Whenever you cast a spirit or arcane spell, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. So a very cool anthem effect as you continuously play more and more and more spirits onto your field, as well as arcane spells, which we will get right into. No card rulings for this Kodama, very straightforward. Elder Prime of Jukai is just one of many spirits that care about spirit and arcane spells. It has the Soul Shift keyword in there, which is something I'm very excited to build around. But again, this really is just to focus on, you want to play as many spirits as possible and arcane spells as possible to beef up your team for a big swing finish. The deck that I am building around, as I already mentioned, is Spirit and Arcanes. We want to play as many spirits as possible. We want to play as many arcane spells as possible. Splice into arcane or onto arcane is a fun mechanic to kind of modify your spells as you're casting them. It is not here listed, but in the previous one I did mention Soul Shift is a fun keyword that I'm going to be playing around with this deck, where when my spirits die, I'm going to be able to bring cheaper spirits back into my hand from my graveyard so I can play them again. Kind of create this cool cycle synergy. A popular deck idea on EDH Rec focuses on spirit and arcane spells again, but this time it's wanting to beef up your team and then play like fight spells or bite spells, as a lot of other people like to call them, because there is a difference between fight and bite. Fight spells are both creatures deal damage to each other. Bite spells are when your creatures alone deal damage to a target. So kind of a creature destruction outlet, but you still need to play a lot of spirit and arcane spells to beef up your board to then fight or bite. And then lastly, still you want to play spirit and arcane spells so you can use your commander, but this is really focusing on playing as many spells as possible. So this, I believe, was an option on EDH Rec, but I did want to talk about it because I know it is a popular archetype that you can now start playing in green more and more. That's simply just mono green Storm, which is really cool. Storm is a very powerful mechanic and it's a very powerful theme to build around. Not as easy to do in mono green, not as cheap to do in mono green, as a lot of budget players would like to play with. I am one of those budget players that would struggle to want to buy all the cards you need for this deck, but it is an option. It is kind of cool, and it's very niche as far as mono green is concerned. And that's going to do it for Kodama of the South Tree. Really cool card, really great way of beefing up your board. The biggest downside for this commander, and ultimately why it has the rank of B given to it, is simply because it restricts you to spirit and arcane spells only. So you have to build within spirit and arcanes no matter how you build around this commander. With that said, it is a fun archetype to build around. You can do some cool, crazy stuff with it, and there are enough spirits from a multitude of sets that are in mono green. I think we could, if you really look into it, you could like build different variations of spirit decks, not just necessarily Kamigawa spirits, but maybe you could do like Innistrad spirits or Dominaria spirits. I'm not sure if there's a lot of green spirits in Dominaria. I'm just trying to name off planes. But spirit tribal synergies in other sets, in other planes, and like build around the archetypes that they want to build around. But since they are spirits, they do fit Kodama's requirement to beef up your board. So plenty of options to build around there. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed or any synergies I didn't talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all of your support, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!